Well, good morning, Gus Breen. We've got you on the camera there. And I'm Matt Jones, and I've got the great pleasure of interviewing Gus, who is a veteran of the Korean War. We're going to spend some time talking about his memories of Korea and what took place in the Korean War. So, Gus, thanks for your time. And can we first start with a timeline, just to establish when you first heard about Korea, when you first went, and when you came back to Australia, and if you've been back to Korea since that time?
Right. Well, I first heard of Korea about 1949, when there were rumblings that a war might break out there between North and South Korea. I was a cadet at the Royal Military College Duntroon, and therefore was very anxious to hear more in the event that I might be posted there, and hoped that I would be.
And when did you first arrive in Korea?
I arrived in Korea on the 28th of November 1952.
And when did you leave Korea?
I left Korea, not sure of the exact date, but I left Korea around the end of September 1953.
Have you been back to Korea since that time?
Yes, I've been back 3 times, and I've enjoyed each trip back because each was different.
Mm. And when was the first of those, and when was the last?
First one was 2002, and the last was 2011.
Great, yeah. So the anniversary of the Hook, the Battle of the Hook and the Armistice, was last week, and we'll return to that shortly. But first, I just want to spend some time to establish your first impressions of what it was like in Korea. So firstly, how did you, and these questions are mainly for an audience that maybe haven't any experience with the military, so they're not only unfamiliar with how the military operates, but also we're talking about a generational gap where now, 2019, it's a long way from 1952. So how did you first actually get to Korea? How did you travel to go from...
We travelled with a group of Army personnel, Australian Army personnel, and we flew from Iwakuni, which was the Australian Air Force base in southern Japan, and we flew to Seoul.
Great. And what was your first impression when you arrived in country?
Well, when you've never been overseas before, as I hadn't, you didn't know what to expect, but Seoul is quite a large city, and when I arrived in November 52, it had been decimated because it had changed hands 4 times.
Mm. Were there any buildings that were untouched or seemingly untouched?
Oh, there were a few,
yeah.
But most of them were rubble. The roads were torn up with shell and mortar fire, and nothing was really running. For example, today you have trams and buses running. That wasn't the case when I arrived there.
So the city was occupied by civilians when you got there, was it?
Oh yes,
yeah, right.
Yes, it was occupied by civilians and a lot of military personnel walking around, but it needed a lot of work to bring it back to what it is today, because it's a very nice city.
Yeah. Given that it changed hands 4 times, was there any expectation among some people that maybe the Chinese or North Koreans might yet retake Seoul?
Well, the first time they took Seoul was after they crossed the 38th parallel and headed south. Seoul fell to the North Koreans in 3 days.
Yeah.
After that, it was a series of battles going backwards and forwards.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the... actually, here's one question. You mentioned before, when we've been talking, that there was no pay parade while you were in Korea. You know, you didn't get paid in money while you were in Korea. That's correct. Is that correct?
No, we must have been paid on occasions.
Right.
I can't remember, but we would have been paid in either US dollars,
Yeah.
BAF, which is British Armed Forces money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really, a currency?
Really? We had our own currency.
Yeah.
And that's what it was called, BAF.
Yeah.
Or in Korean won.
Right. Okay. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And this might sound like a redundant question, but for someone who is much younger, who only knows the Korea of today, you know, you mentioned already that the city was dishevelled and broken. Was there anything to do in Seoul? I'm sort of stating the obvious with this question, but was there anything to do in Seoul where you could spend money? I guess I'm getting to the point that there was a war on, and there was no sense of. There was no time for tourism in that regard.
Oh, the South Koreans were doing their utmost to recommence business.
Right.
And there were hawker stalls, plenty of them,
Yeah.
selling all sorts of merchandise, most of it made by the South Koreans.
Really, right.
Yeah.
Did you buy any street food?
Any?
Street food?
No.
Like, you know...
No, not really. I stayed away from all that.
Right. When was the first time you ate Korean food? Was it while you were in Korea or after you left Korea?
It was after I left Korea.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's
when we were fighting the war, it was either British or, which is Australian,
yeah.
or US food.
Yeah.